Every day I'm Thomas Flash, and have you ever just looked at Megaman and said, yeah, you know, it's a really good concept, but I think we should put him in a cart instead? Yeah, I know, me neither. But apparently in 1997, someone high up at Capcom thought so, and everyone was like, yeah, I don't really think that's such a good idea. And then everyone who said that was fired. Because Capcom. But that aside, if there's a kart racing game for the PSX that revolves around Mega Man, I kind of have to play it. Because I love PlayStation, I love Mega Man, and Crash Team Racing is the best, so, I mean, you combine all of them together, and BAM! Instant classic. So today we're going to be taking a look at Mega Man Battle and Chase for the PSX. While we're loading in, I should probably tell you a little bit of the backstory about this game. You see,
Megaman Battle and Chase!
Wait. What was that? I haven't had this game open for 3 seconds yet, and I'm already getting angry Japanese screamed at me. So yeah, if you haven't guessed already, I'm playing the original Japanese version of the game because it was never released in North America. It did end up getting a PAL release later in 1998, but I couldn't find it anywhere. I guess Sony Computer Entertainment just didn't like it enough to give it a proper localization in the States, considering the already growing presence of their would-be mascot, Crash Team Racing. But, whatever. I have a fairly decent understanding of the language, don't quote me on that, so we should be okay for now. Anyway, why don't we go ahead and start the Grand Prix? Oh, I should probably mention that all the loading screens are interactive, and that is way too fun to mess around with. The traffic cone looks really nervous about something, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Whatever, it'll probably be fine. Anyway, I guess it's time to select the character. This game starts you out with Rockman, Roll, Shadowman, Gutsman, Blues, Iceman, Napalmman, Springman, Bass, and Quickman. Normally I would choose Shadowman since he's my personal favorite out of the group, but for the sake of learning the basics, I guess I'll go with Rockman. Wait a second, is he riding in Rush? I don't know whether to be amazed or confused. So, I mean, I guess I'll have to settle on being amused instead. I want to die! I should mention that I really love the selection animation. It honestly has so much charm with the music added along. It feels like you're about to race the most heroic race that racing in a robotic dog can get. So now that we've picked our card, it looks like we gotta name it. Normally I would keep the Japanese name, Rush Roadstar, but today I feel like being an unfunny teenager. Oh wait, Small Pupper it is! Alright, so I guess it's time to pick a stage. Like the original games, there's no set path for what tracks you have to race on, and I honestly think that no matter how much of a Mario Kart clone you think this is, it makes it feel like more of a Mega Man game. There's also a difficulty meter under the stage name, which could be helpful. Now, whether that's accurate or not is a separate story, but it's there. We also get to see who we're up against to the left, like Roll and, Roll. You only get to race one Robot Master, and yes, I am aware that I just grouped in Roll with the rest of the Robot Masters, which kinda makes the race feel barren. There are other filler robots, and I think that Yellow Devil is in some of them, which is fantastic. Why are there 2 of him? But I think it just kinda takes the life out of the word race when you only have one competent opponent. But this isn't a normal racing game, and I think you're about to find out why. I guess we'll have to go ahead and pick this course since there's only 4 opponents, and I think Roll should be pretty easy. Also, before I start, can we all just appreciate how pumped this caster is just while standing in one spot and doing absolutely nothing? You go, man. So, now I'm pretty sure that Roll was being interviewed. I can understand a little bit of it, but don't worry, you're not missing out on too much. I think this opening sequence adds some character to the overall scheme of things, but I think it's a little bit too long. Like, just come on, I want to freaking race already. Oh, there they go. I don't know if I'm missing out on something, but every other racer got an insane amount of speed right off the bat. Well, I guess I'll have to battle and chase my way to number 1. Okay, whoa. One thing I noticed instantly is the turning. It's bad. Like really, really bad. It feels super unnatural and rigid, like you're driving with constant zigzags at incredibly small angles. It's like you make an extremely sharp turn and then there's this weird delay where you turn so slowly right afterwards. To add insult to injury, there's also this weird auto drift mechanic where if you make a turn that's too wide, you start drifting and it makes you kind of stop turning, and it's made me crash on multiple occasions. Putting that aside, let's get into what makes this game unique. The battling. You've probably noticed a weird counter in the corner by now, so I should probably tell you that's an item counter. You see, in this game there aren't any item crates for you to smash and get a blue shell. No. You have to actually fight for your precious items. And what does that mean? Kill everything you can on the screen, including these little hats, big hats, and your enemies, and traffic cones at the same time while you're Oh, wait. So that's what the traffic cones were nervous. Sorry, bud. But for everything you hit, the counter ticks down by a certain number, 1 for smaller enemies and 3 for larger ones. As soon as it hits 0, you get a brand new CSGO case, absolutely free, no scam, only on CSGO Lotto. By that, I mean you're met with a slot machine, and you press circle whenever you're feeling lucky to stop it and claim your reward for brutally killing stuff and knocking over traffic cones like a rebel. This kind of Burnout style gameplay where you're rewarded for causing chaos kind of makes this game stand out from the rest of its kind, and I definitely think that it helps to put the emphasis on battle, because to perform decently you have to really shoot stuff and actually use your weapons. Certain characters' weapon styles like Shadow Man's chain attack contrasting to Napalm Man's bombs in an identical situation could make you think a little bit differently on approaching it. With Shadow Man, it's how can I best line up this shot to get the most enemies? And with Napalm Man, it's where are the enemies closely grouped together so the splash damage does more. That's why I really think that this isn't and shouldn't count as a normal Mario Kart clone. The races feel like a standalone experience and heck, more of an arena battle royale if you ask me. Anyway, we finished our first race and now it's time to take a piece of our opponent's card and add it to ours. I'll go ahead and take the Finn because I think Rush would look hilarious with it. Okay, Roll. What kind of facial expression is that? You need some help there? No? Alright, I'll leave you be. Anyway, as you can probably see, another main feature of this game is customization. Something that, believe it or not, at the time Mario Kart 64 and Crash Team Racing both lacked, so I think it's pretty awesome to see that this game could have started that trend in car races to come. Anyway, it's time to equip Small Pupper with a fin and, okay, that's actually perfect. I have no more words to describe this. I'm pretty sure these parts actually changed some stuff stat-wise for your cart, but personally I really didn't notice anything. And then we pick another course, and another course, and another course, and wait a minute, why am I even doing this? It's not like Dr. Wily is holding me hostage and forcing me to race for his pleasure. At least I hope not. Actually, it turns out that Dr. Light's computer is broken, so we have to enter in this race to get money to fix it. Seems easy, right? But, oh no! Dr. Wily, that old goof, is up to his shenanigans again because... plot device. And that's pretty much it. You just race the robots to win the money while you shoot stuff. It honestly doesn't really make much sense, and it's almost never canonically mentioned in the game, so I'll disregard it for now. There's not much more to it gameplay-wise, it's literally the exact same with different characters and different maps every time. Speaking of... as I stated previously, every playable character has a different ability that they can use to destroy stuff and knock back their opponents. Rock is pretty balanced, he has a pretty decent speed, but his attacks are extremely underpowered, at best making the opponent spin out. Quickman is undoubtedly the fastest in the game, of course. His special ability is a speed boost, however, he will wipe out if you boost into a wall. Also, I should mention that Quickman goes way too fast for some turns, and with the way his steering works in the game, it doesn't help. Napalm Man is immune to shorting out on red stage hazards, and his special ability is dropping bombs or throwing bombs. He's actually a pretty great character in all aspects. Shadow Man has good acceleration and he's pretty fast. His special ability is throwing a shuriken and dropping smoke behind him. The shuriken actually shorts out the opponent when hit, making it pretty OP overall. Ironically, he also recovers from spins quickly since, yeah. Gutsman drives faster on dirt, but this is pretty useless in 90% of the stages since most of them are just industrial or a town or something. He can also throw boulders or make the ground shake, which does absolutely nothing unless someone's directly in front of you. Springman. Oh boy, this one's a doozy. Springman actually has a pretty average speed, but he's the most exploitable ability ever. It's actually unbelievable. Springman's ability involves shooting out 2 springs from the sides of your choice that can make you bounce everywhere. These springs have a pretty large hitbox and also stay in effect while you're driving, so all you really need to do is drive into a wall and turn ever so slightly, and you can pretty much gain infinite speed and bounce forever. Good job, Capcom, you did it broken again. Duo's fast and immune to bombs and mines, Iceman shoots ice and is immune to ice physics, Blues is a rock clone with a shield, Bass is a rock clone in every aspect, Wily is retarded, and Roll is, Roll. Honestly, the character roster is pretty small, but there is a fair share of variety when it comes to characters. The courses, on the other hand, I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything, they are all the exact same. Well, not the exact same, but to put it less simply, the level design is bland and lackluster in that a lot of stages are just flat loops with slightly different turns. Sometimes stage hazards, I'll list them all now, are awkwardly placed and seem forced, but compensate for the flatness of the stage. If you ask me, the flatness actually complements the battle mechanic because there's not much in the way that could randomly screw up an attack, but at the same time, this is just lazy. There's so much more that could be done even if the level was completely flat, like, I don't know, add a loop-de-loop, add a shortcut, an alternate path. At least something that stands out and doesn't make all these levels so bloody forgettable. Wait, am I allowed to say that? Apparently not. But if there's one level that I will never forget, it has to be this one. This is Iceman's stage. I swear, it is impossible to win on this race in the Grand Prix. As you can probably guess, a lot of stuff is covered in ice physics, and let me tell you about ice physics. They are absolute garbage. It's practically impossible to turn correctly on them because it amplifies the balls out of everything you do. And if you turn too far and try to drift, you spin out and lose all control of your cart while moving in the same direction. Pairing these up with pitfalls, which I might add only appear in this stage ever, is probably the worst possible thing ever. There are multiple turns where you have to completely slow down and lose all of your speed in order to make it across the ice without spinning out into the pitfall next to it. It's probably the worst design for any ice level I've ever seen in a racing game. Anyway, with that little rant being done, I won't spoil the ending for you, but I'll just say it involves Dr. Wily being a good old goof again. Anyway, all's well that ends well. Rockman and the gang get the money to buy Dr. Light a new PC because you sure need like $2 million to buy a computer. Yeah, that's realistic. But overall, I kinda actually like this game. I mean, don't get me wrong, as a racing game it is definitely flawed beyond belief, but looking at it objectively, it's pretty fun, and heck, I think it can even hold its own against CTR and Mario Kart 64. After all, there is much more of a focus on battling than racing, so that's why, as its own entity, Megaman Battle and Chase is pretty dang good. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Everybody, thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed, be sure to smash that squishy red subscribe button and maybe even drop a like down below. Also, comment on which game I might want to review next or just anything you want to say. But yeah, with that being said, I don't really know what to talk about. I mean, this is endslate. Yeah, school started, so that's why this video took a little bit longer to get out, and also I got sick 2 days before, so I couldn't really record any lines for this because my throat was just like almost completely closed. It was garbage. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I mean, this is a really unprofessional, unscripted endslate. That's why I don't do commentaries just yet. But yeah, also we hit 400 subscribers. Like, that's insane. Of course I'm gonna make like a video going over that, maybe. But what would you guys want to see for a 500 sub special? I know that's gonna be special because obviously that's halfway to 1,000, which is pretty insane considering that we were only at 300 2 months ago. But yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna say else here, I guess. Here are some random outtakes that I had, and in my random outtakes I mean one because I deleted all the other ones by accident. But yeah, I guess I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Oh wait, small pupper it is! So I guess now it's time to pick a stage. Like the original games, there's no set path for what tracks you have to race on, and I honestly think that no matter